It's a celestial event that has captivated us for millennia, but for many, it's more than just a beautiful show in the sky. It's a bad omen, a trigger for emotional chaos, a time when everything just feels off. Now, you've heard the stories, and maybe you've even felt it yourself, but is there any real science to back that feeling up? We went looking for the proof, and what we found might just change the way you see the moon. Before we dive into the myths, let's get the science straight. A lunar eclipse is actually pretty simple. It's what happens when the Earth slides directly between the sun and the moon. And when it does, our planet's shadow falls across the moon, often turning it a deep reddish color. It's gorgeous, predictable, and perfectly natural alignment. So, where did all these stories about emotional chaos and bad vibes come from? Well, the most common claim is that the moon must be hitting us with some kind of physical force. I mean, it's powerful enough to move entire oceans with its gravity, and since our bodies are mostly water, it almost seems logical that the moon could be tugging on us too. But here's the thing, the science on this is crystal clear. The moon's gravitational pull on your body is unbelievably tiny. A mosquito landing on your arm exerts a greater gravitational force on you. Seriously, during a lunar eclipse, the sun, earth, and moon are just in a straight line for a little while. The fundamental forces to play don't change in any way that could physically slosh around the water in your brain or throw your body's chemistry into tailspin. Study after study have found zero connection between eclipses and human health. The claims about mood swings are purely anecdotal. So, from a purely physical standpoint, the idea that a lunar eclipse is directly messing with your body is a total myth. But what about our emotions and behavior? This is where the story gets a little more interesting. While most studies looking for a direct link between lunar eclipses and psychiatric emergencies have come up empty, there is a connection between the lunar cycle and one very important part of our lives: sleep. Several studies have shown that in the days around a full moon, people tend to get to bed later and get less deep sleep. One study even found that deep sleep decreases by 30% around the full moon. People in the study took longer to fall asleep and slept for about 20 minutes less overall. And researchers think this might be an ancient evolutionary hangover, a time when our ancestors would have used the brighter moonlight to hunt or stay safe. And what happens when you get a lousy night's sleep? You feel irritable, moody, and emotionally sensitive. So if you're feeling a little off during a full moon eclipse, it might not be some mystical force pulling the strings, but simply a subtle, scientifically documented disruption to your sleep. So, the hard data says there's no mysterious force. Case closed, right? Not so fast, because while the eclipse might not be physically doing anything to you, it can absolutely affect you. The real power of an eclipse isn't gravitational, it's psychological. Think about it. These are rare, massive celestial events that make us all stop and look up. And when we experience them, something incredible happens in our brains. We feel awe. Psychologists define awe as that feeling you get when you're in the presence of something vast that completely transcends your day-to-day world. A fascinating study analyzed millions of Twitter posts during the 2017 solar eclipse and found that people in the path of the eclipse expressed way more awe. They also started using more positive, collective, and humble language, words like we instead of I, and phrases that showed a sense of connection. This experience of awe has been shown to quiet our inner critic, make us feel more connected with each other, and even lower stress. It reminds us that we're part of something much, much bigger than ourselves. So, does a lunar eclipse scientifically affect you? The hard data says no. There is no cosmic energy or gravitational chaos that directly messes with your mood or your health. But does the experience of an eclipse affect you? Absolutely. It can subtly throw off your sleep, and more profoundly, it can inspire a powerful sense of awe that changes your perspective. makes you less focused on yourself, and builds a feeling of human connection. The eclipse itself doesn't hold the power, our experience of it does. The universe may not be controlling you, but it can certainly move you. So what's the most awe-inspiring thing you've ever seen? Let us know down in the comments, and for more deep dives that bridge the gap between science and the human experience, make sure you subscribe.